It is my pleasure to introduce Dale Rees-Bevan, DTM. Dale is an award-winning speaker and trainer, president of Speakers Bank Australia Incorporated, and author of The Speaking Formula. She loves language, learning, and laughter, believes in combining these in equal measure in all of her sessions. Over the last 20 years, she set up public speaking programs for Speakers Bank and has spoken at conferences in South Africa, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Japan. More recently, she's addressed online audiences in China, Europe, and the United States. Dale has worked with CEOs, medical professionals, teachers, students, plumbers, engineers, and accountants. In short, a wide range of people from all walks of life to help them increase their confidence. Confidence frequently plays a role in professional success, and today, in this session, you will have a chance to learn a few of the behaviors of confident people with her presentation, The Con in Confidence.
Hello, welcome. I just want to know before I start, who else decided to come to this convention partly so that they could tell people, I'm going to a convention in the Bahamas? And the people online, shush darling, I'm logging on to a convention in the Bahamas. It's funny how these little thrills boost our confidence, isn't it? Do you want more confidence? Yes. Okay, 4 of you do, that's great. Do you want more confidence? Yes. Excellent, that's not unusual. When participants come to do the Speaking Formula program, nobody ever says to me, Dale, what I'm looking for is a structural framework to logically organize the flow of my present. No, what they say is, I just want to feel more confident. So I give them a pre-work exercise. I say to them, you're going to go to a coffee shop, ideally nowhere near where you live or work, and you're going to order coffee the way that a supremely confident person orders coffee. We all know someone like that, right? The kind of person who just commands a room as soon as they enter. You're going to be that person. Hello, can I get a latte? I love what you've done to this place. Have you been here long? Whatever comes into your mind. After the coffee shop exercise, participants come to me and do you know what they say? I can't believe the way that people respond to me when I'm being that confident person. All right, some people say I gave up coffee. One chap, Brian, walked into the session, shook hands with everyone, this was pre-COVID, and then said that he had enjoyed the response that he was getting from other people so much so that he had started hanging around the water cooler at work, talking to random strangers. I thought, oh my gosh, I've created the office creep. But what these people are experiencing is that magical transfer of energy that comes from putting out confidence behaviors. And we know what they are. Confidence, before I tell you what they are, confidence, interestingly enough, comes from the Latin word confidere, meaning with trust. Did you know that up until the 14th century, it was used predominantly in the sense of to inspire trust? It was about inspiring a sense of competence and capability. It's only in later years that we've started to become a bit selfish about it. I want to feel confident. I want something inside me. But in previous times, it was about the effect of confidence, the effect that we get from exhibiting confidence behaviors. So if we look at the con in confidence, confidence behaviors are those things that we do to show our confidence. Now, the way I like to see it is if you want to be a generous person, you do what generous people do. Give things away, buy people coffee. You want to be a confident person, you do what confident people do. And we know what they are. We see them in other people. Posture, smile, open body language, eye contact, volume. If I'm going too fast, listen faster. These are the things that confident people do to inspire trust. And if we adopt those behaviors, think about the impact that that would have on your clients, your customers, your colleagues. Would you like to hear a blockbuster Hollywood story about confidence? Yes. Good, because I'm telling it anyway. Let me take you back to 1998, the year a huge blockbuster hit was released. Can anyone recall what it was? Give me a second. Well done. It was Titanic. And it was an extremely popular film. But with my friend Bella, it was an obsession. So much so that it became her mission, her quest, her dream to meet James Cameron, the director of Titanic. Easier said than done. Who's got James Cameron in their contact list? Or in 1998, their Rolodex. But at that time, a Sydney radio station was running a competition in which 10 prize winners would win a ticket to Los Angeles, where they would go to the Oscars and the Titanic cast after party, where anyone could get to meet. Glad you're still with me. And Bella won a ticket in that competition. So before you knew it, she was on a plane to LA, and none of that happened. On the day of the Oscars, the group was ushered into a small lounge room with a big screen TV, a bucket of champagne, and invited to enjoy the Oscars there. Actually, let's do a little poll here. Who here would feel a little bit annoyed and disappointed that that was not the deal? Yeah? All right, and raise your hand if you'd just be grateful for an overseas holiday to LA. Keep your hands up. If you're online, give me a thumbs up. Look around. These are the truly happy people. And raise your hand if you're from LA and don't care either way. All right, welcome. So Bella and her friends watched the Oscars, and they were thrilled to see that the film swept up the awards. Can anyone remember how many Oscars they got? Okay, thank you. Trivia night over. Afterwards, they decided that... I can't hear you what you're saying, but I look forward to catching up with you after the talk. At the end of the evening, Bella said to her friends, well, we can't celebrate with James Cameron, but we sure can celebrate for him. So they headed out to a local bar where Bella got chatting to the barman, who happened to be an out-of-work actor. That never happens in LA. After a little while, he said to her, you know what, I know members of the cast of Titanic, and I know where they're holding the Titanic cast after party. So, while they waited for the barman's shift to finish, over a couple of glasses of wine, which is when we are at our most creative, Bella and the barman hatched a plan to crash the Titanic cast after party. It was the barman who came up with the strategy. He said, I've got it. Rupert Murdoch, Australian tycoon, owns Fox Studios. Fox Studios produced the Titanic. You're Australian. You could be Rupert Murdoch's niece. What could possibly go wrong? So Bella and the barman and all her friends got into a couple of cabs and they set off driving into the night to the middle of nowhere. Just at the point where Bella was starting to think that she was about to star in her own personal horror story, they saw a massive white marquee looming out of the darkness. It was set up in a parking lot in a shopping mall on the outskirts of LA. And as they came to a halt, a limousine pulled up, and who do you think stepped out? No, but I love your optimism. It was Celine Dion. And that told Bella that they were in the right place. So they got out of the cabs, and a group of Bella's friends noticed these big, burly security guards guarding the entrance, and they said, we're out, we're not taking our chances. Got in the cab and drove off. The barman turned to Bella and said, acting 101. Chin up, shoulders back, act like you belong in that tent. And Bella said, I can do that. So Bella, the barman posing as her bodyguard, and her friends as her entourage, set off towards the tent. Rupert Murdoch's niece coming through. Rupert Murdoch's niece coming through. He pushed James Belushi out the way. Rupert Murdoch's niece coming through. We're just about to clear security. Rupert Murdoch's niece coming through. And they were in. The whole of the marquee was decorated with sets from the Titanic, chandeliers, champagne was flowing. The atmosphere was electric. They had won 11 Oscars. And Bella, seen here in her red dress, spent the evening circulating with the celebrities. Now, you're probably wondering if she got to meet James Cameron. Here he is. Don't you love pre-digital photography? But this is my favorite picture. Bella telling James Cameron just how profoundly the film had affected her. After a little while, one of her friends came over and said, one of Rupert Murdoch's relatives is heading this way. Do you want to stick around for a family reunion? And she said, I think we'll call it a night. When Bella told me this story, I said to her, weren't you terrified of what the security guards would do if they found you out? And she said, I was terrified, but I so badly needed to get into that tent and fulfill my dream. And what about when you were talking to James Cameron? Did you carry on with this charade of being Rupert Murdoch's niece? Did he even ask who you were? And she said, he did ask, and I said, I'm just an Australian tourist who really wanted to meet you. She then went on to say, that moment wouldn't have meant anything to me if I hadn't been myself in it. And I'm willing to bet it probably had more impact on James Cameron that someone from the other side of the world had gone to all that trouble just to tell him how much his film meant to her. And here's the thing, confidence will get you into the tent, but honesty will keep you there. Which brings us to the next level of confidence behaviors. Confidence is about ownership. It's about owning your identity, who you are, your humanity, being vulnerable, being willing to share, being open, your limitations. Confident leaders are willing to admit when they don't know the answers, when they've made mistakes. And in the spirit of ownership, I'd like to share with you a time, one of the many times, I've lacked confidence. When I first came to Australia, I wanted to set up a public speaking holiday camp for children. But I lacked confidence. I was worried about the financial risk. Would parents entrust their children to me and my team of volunteers for 2 nights? And children are brutal audiences. But I was talking to my friends, Julie and Diane, and telling them about my dream, and Julie said, a goal is a dream with a deadline. Put a date on it, Dale. And we will support you, we will help you, we will be there for you. So I went home and said to my husband, apparently we're setting up a public speaking camp for children. And he said, great, I'll make a website. So a website went up, volunteers were summoned, including Julie and Diane. And before I knew it, we were standing in front of our first group of chatter campers. We're now in the throes of organising our 12th annual Chatter Camp. A camp that has seen hundreds of children go through it, children who have come back to us and said, because of this camp, we've signed up for debating, joined the school play, gone on to become school prefect or school captain. Do things that we wouldn't have had the confidence to do if we hadn't attended this camp. I learned 3 things from this experience. 1, never underestimate the impact your actions will have on other people. 2, if you don't have confidence in yourself, borrow faith from the people around you. They often believe in you a lot more than you believe in yourself. And 3, don't wait to have confidence to take action. Take action so that you can build your confidence. Confidence behaviors are the superficial things that we do to inspire trust in other people. Taking ownership is about inspiring people to follow where you lead. And taking action now is what makes it possible to build and achieve the dreams you didn't even think you could. So, are you ready to start taking action now to build your confidence? Yes. Please stand. And summon your supremely confident self. And in a moment, I'm going to count to 3. And when I get to 3, you're going to order coffee, the way a supremely confident person would order coffee. Hello, can I get a latte? 1, 2, 3. Hello!